This is lesson 4, modeling the Kallman McKinnell building at the corner of Washington and School Street. We're going to refine things here. There's some things I realized, walls overlapping. So in order to clarify what I'm doing, I'm just going to remove the walls that have some difficulty and start them anew. So on the ground level, this wall that we copied from level 1, I'm going to extend to the corner, right? And then take this tall wall that spans several levels, copy it to the clipboard, and then paste it to the level starting here, which is level 3 old, up to level 4. And I'm going to say paste, align to selected level, level 3 old. So that's a really tall wall, and it should only span to the next level. I'm going to say up to level 4. No offset. Okay. We don't have walls at the back here. And because this is all adjacent building construction, I might just take all of these walls and extend them just all the way up to the roof. I don't normally do that. I usually copy from floor to floor, but we're not going to experience those walls. So this is something that you could do. I think there's a little L. No. Let's select that wall. Alright, so that'll be done, and that's opaque, and that's not visible anyway. Let's go around the front. 1, 2. Now the building itself, on the levels above where these columns meet, was just driving past there, and I did notice I counted more levels than we have floors here. For now, well, okay, so if we go to Google, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 floors above the level where the columns meet at upper level, which I think I'm calling level 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. There are only 4 in this drawing, so the drawing is incorrect. But we're not occupying those floors, so I'm not that concerned about that. So I'm taking the 3 opaque walls that are now on level 3 up to the next level, which is level 4, and I'm going to copy them to the clipboard and then paste aligned to selective levels. I'm going to paste them to level 4, 5, and 6. Highlighted walls overlap. So there's some irregularity to the wall height. Now let's see, what do we do wrong? Level 3 to level 4. Level 3 to level 4. Level 3 to level 4. Copy. Let's try one at a time. Align to selected levels. Let's see if when we copy to level 4, Let's try to paste a line to selected levels to level 5. And that's where we get the error. So there's something about it's intersecting something, but I'm not going to worry about it. And then now I'm going to paste a line to level 6. And level 6, I have to adjust for that wall needs to be reoriented, right, to be perpendicular to this. So let's go to level 6 and see what we have. I'm going to measure the angle. We want that to be 90 degrees. So I'm going to select this and just make that explicit. We have a wall that is sort of an awkward condition, but it doesn't matter because we aren't really going to see that part of the building, right? And then I might let's modify this floor slab to cover the roof. Edit boundary and just align it to the outside edge there. Always answer no to that. I don't know why revit defaults to that. Now there's a cornice, there's articulation around this building that's beyond the scope of what I want to do right now, but the basic volume is there. If we don't like that the floor slabs are peeking through, we can modify the boundaries of the floors and just sort of offset them, you know, some distance inwards. So select maybe 6 inches, not copy, and just move these edges that are peeking through. And that'll fix that. So we're refining the outline of the building. We have not yet drawn the beams that are laid out radially here. I want to do that shortly. And naturally we haven't done any of the openings or interior, so and then we need a strategy for what's going on along here. Let's look at School Street again. It's wonderful that you can do this in Google Earth. You just sort of look at the front of the building. So what's going on in that corner? Whoa, that's just a massive concrete opaque structure. So let's go back to our model. How can we model that quickly, prototype that quickly? Let's just select these guys and bring them up to top, right? Why not? That's what that is. That's what we're looking at, right? You guys agree? Yeah, it's like a massive, yeah. So we're looking pretty good. Those walls want to attach probably to this roof. So let's select those walls and go attach top to this thing so that they get buried. Right, that's all that is. The walls supporting that. Now let's come up with a strategy for modeling the beams. They're a massive part of this. Let's look again at a photograph. What do these look like? Okay, they are very deep with massive haunches on the outside. What's a haunch? Something you should know. If I go to Google and say haunch, show me an image. Human or buttocks? Nope. The side of an arch between the crown and the pier. That's more like what I'm thinking about. So it's this massive sort of splaying outward of the beam. That's what we're looking at. But for now, I'm going to model it as a simple rectangular shape, and as if I were working in SketchUp. I'm going to use the ground to stage these things. So how can we do this? Structure. Beam. Let's see if we can load a type. We could model these directly, but let's see if it's easy enough to load a type. So I'm going to say load family. I think we're looking for structural components, structural framing, concrete. Wow, concrete rectangular beam. How fortunate. Open that. Let's just draw one. I don't know. Start here and draw in that direction. Nothing is visible in this view. Okay, so it's because when Revit draws these things, there's a sort of a default elevation. So we'll have to go to our 3D view and see where that thing lives. Or we could start drawing, changing these default properties of it. But let's see where it drew the beam. It's buried in here, right? I'm going to say it's at level 1, start level offset. That's the beginning level offset. Let's bring it to 4 feet and end level offset at 4 feet. That should bring it up somewhere to where I can see it. So now if I go back to my plan, that is actually visible. And what I'm going to do is align it with my grid line. That's another beautiful, useful use of grid line. Select the Align tool and select the center of that element. So now when I go back here, that thing's where I want it. And I can move it up and down, right? Before I do that, let's just draw the rest of them, right? edit copy. Let's see, how can we do this? Let's try an array. Let's just draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of them. Okay, because that array is associated then move it back and say, give me 7 of these. All right? Don't panic because they're all over the place. Well, that one you have to delete. There's one that's buried in there. So now I go back to the plan view, and now all I need to do is align these guys. Align to that line this element. Right? Oh, let's disassociate these. Whenever you create an array, it automatically groups these things, and we want to ungroup all of them so they're all not associated with each other. Otherwise, modifying one will propagate changes to others. Line, grid line, there. Grid line, that one. I'm not paying attention to how long these are just yet. I'm just sort of putting them where they belong. Grid line, that. Grid line, that. Okay, this is way out. Can't keep elements joined, unjoined. I don't know what it's joined to, but let's not worry about that. Let's take this guy and drag its end toward here. Just past the column. Drag one end toward there. So they're all sitting, one part of it sits on the wall, the other on the column, right? Everybody understand that? This wall is supporting that radial constellation of beams. Prototyping the model. I'm getting the general gist of the model without obsessing about the particulars at this point. Oh, didn't ungroup that. Ungroup that. Getting a lot of email. Okay, now remember, all these things, if I go back to the 3D view, all these things they're sitting. Consider the concept of staging. I'm using the staging area, so I could group these guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Make it create a group. Beam array radial. And the neat thing about groups is you make modifications to the group, propagates those changes to other groups. So there it is, convenient. The group exists on level 1. Let's move it to level 3. Apply. Cool. It may not be in exactly the right place just yet, right? So maybe that group needs to be not 1, 4 from level 3, but 0, 0. Maybe it needs to be even lower than that, minus 2 feet from level 3. Okay, so maybe it needs to be even lower, minus 4 feet from level 3. So it looks like it's holding up the floor. Copy it to the clipboard. Paste it in the same place. You'll get an error. Yep, we know things are in the same place. So let's move that to level 4. Apply. And then finally, paste the same place. Good. And move that to level 6. Or, yeah, so that's level 6, and it needs to change from level 6 minus, maybe minus 6 feet. It's holding up that floor. Maybe it needs to be lower than that, minus 6, minus 8. We don't even know if that is the correct height and width for these things, but essentially we have the general idea of that building space. I'm missing one beam, and I think we can simply modify this group. Edit, copy that, edit, paste it to the same place. Let's move it over, and then we can worry about aligning it. Finish editing that. So you see that modified the other instances of that group. We can do a better job at modifying this by going to a plan that from which we can see the plan below. So we'll have to contrive. It's possible that we could see that from the ceiling plan. Let's select that. How about the ceiling of level 4? It isn't quite showing up there. Ceiling of level 5, ceiling of level 3. Ah, good. So we see it there at ceiling of level 3. Let us align this. You're not letting me pick that. Why not? Okay, so line to let's see, ceiling of level 4. Ceiling of level 5. No. Alright, I'm going to fix this offline and figure that out. Basically, we should have been more careful when we created the array of those beams, but I have to find the point of view from which I can edit that and fix that. And probably what I'll do is I'll take that group, put it back on the ground, modify it, and then, you know, propagate that change. So I can take this group, copy it, paste it to the same place, bring it to level 1, up to 4 feet, apply, and then go to level 1, floor plan level 1. Okay, I'm going to fix that offline. 26 minutes.